Righto, DB, we're here on a lovely Saturday morning and it's nothing but good news.
Isn't it fantastic news? Wake up on a Saturday morning and celebrate the return of the mighty Hobart Chargers for our first season in NBL 1 in 2020. I think all Chargers fans, supporters, sponsors, volunteers should be celebrating this morning and looking forward to what's going to be another great adventure for the club.
A big 12 months of basketball all around the state, big 12 months here in Hobart. A lot of work behind the scenes by the club, obviously, to get to the state they're at. You've got to be happy with the steps that have been taken, and albeit a slow, long, drawn-out process, we're finally there.
Yeah, look, we had to make some really difficult, heartbreaking decisions sort of this time last year, and they were really hard, and a lot of people didn't understand them, but ultimately we'd worked for 2 years really hard, this board, to put the club in a strong financial position, and we weren't prepared to go backwards and back into debt. I think it was the right decision at the right time. We've worked really hard behind the scenes with Basketball Tasmania, with Basketball Victoria, with the NBL to get back on the court for 2020, and we're going to do so in a financially strong position. We're going to do so with a real focus on the community that makes up the Chargers, on game night and the fun that we have, the joy of basketball, but also with a real focus on developing young players to play in the NBL and the WNBL. And won't it be great if we can develop more NBL and WNBL ready players now, and they're playing in our own NBL team? Will be a great joy.
You mentioned there the Chargers back into the community. I mean, a well-established brand in the Hobart community for the best part of 25 years. I mean, dormant for 12 months to come back in, sort of rebranded, rephased, re-energised in a sense. I mean, how are you going to go about that, moving forward here in the next few months leading into the season?
Yeah, well, look, we had a 3-year plan that we put in place 3 years ago, and we've ticked every box on it. We said we want to be strong on the balance sheet, tick. We want to be strong in the community. Even while we weren't playing, we were still doing community clinics, working in schools, and over the last 3 years we've had some 20,000 kids through Chargers clinics, so the brand's still strong with the kids. We wanted to be strong on the court. We won a national Seaball championship, and I couldn't be happier about that. And we want to be strong for the future, and that is help Tasmania set up to be NBL ready. And I think, by any measure, having the Blitz here, having Larry Kesselman really paying attention to the state now, I think we've done our job there. So the job of the Chargers, I think, for the next 3 years, in fact the next 10 years, is to provide that really community engaged, inspire young kids to play basketball, inspire families to come to the basketball, and then provide real opportunities for our younger players. I want all the 15, 16-year-olds of Tasmania at the moment aspiring to play for the Chargers so they can play in the WNBL and NBL in the future.
You mentioned there about the club. Obviously, they're going to be back on the floor, 2 teams. Probably a bit different to the last time. We're not going to get the entertainment centre as much as we'd like it. What are we looking at on court here? Obviously, you've got the goal of developing players to the WNBL and the NBL, but where do we sit currently as a team structure, and where will we see the Chargers playing in 2020?
Well, look, obviously, coaches need to be appointed, and the board's working hard on making that happen. Hopefully have some announcements soon. The board's also working around the choice of venues at the moment. Whether that's Creek Road, whether that's Kingborough, whether that's the Doon Entertainment Centre, is a little bit up in the air at the moment. But what I am absolutely certain of, no matter where the Chargers play, there will be an exciting game night experience. There'll be a community game night experience so that families, the community, so that people come to the games, they feel part of something bigger than just the game of basketball. It'll be exciting. There'll be multiple sponsorship opportunities at all sorts of levels. We think, certainly return of corporate boxes, some floor seating. I'm a bit inspired to have a beanbag zone at the end of the court. We'll just see what we can manage, but great opportunities at all levels for sponsors to be part of really courtside action. It's going to be about joy. Basketball to me should be about joy and inspiration, and that's really what game night's going to be about. But we're going to have also a real focus on making sure Tasmanians get to see Tasmanians play on the court.
The AGM coming up this Monday, a lot to do there, obviously, to get the club back into the full swing of things. Sponsors of note coming back on as well. I mean, what do you have going into the AGM Monday? I mean, obviously it has now become news that you are looking to step away after your 3 years. I mean, that's a lot to deal with in an AGM for a club that's bouncing straight back into a new league.
Yeah, but the board have been working really hard behind the scenes. We haven't been out there publicly, and we've been planning for this change. So there will be some changes around that. The board's invited me to stay on as patron, which I'm thrilled about, which means you'll still see my ugly mug around and you'll still see me courtside, and I'll still be very much involved with the club. It's just great. Already this morning I've had calls from Brett McKay's Timber, Simon Hall from Hall's Wastewater, two stalwart sponsors of this club, and they're back in with their money, pledging already to be major sponsors for 2020. So we will be seeking new sponsors, of course, as well, and some of our old sponsors coming back. I'd encourage everyone to get along to the AGM, whether you're a volunteer, a member, a supporter, want to be part of the club and make a contribution to the exciting future of the club. 6 p.m. at Rest Point, this Monday night. Maybe you'll put that info up on the screen for me.
We'll plug that now.
Just everyone come along. Bit of a celebration. We're back. But also the start of some really hard work to make sure we're a success.
I suppose finally, parting words in a sense, David, is there anyone you want to thank in particular, or just a brief overview of your 3 years here at the club?
Yeah, look, there'll be plenty of time to say all the nice things I want to say about a lot of people, but I do want to say the club's given me much more than I've given it. I'll tear up. It's been a joy. I've loved every second of it. And you guys, Chargers TV, yourself, Justin and Ronnie, have been just a fantastic part of that journey. It's been a pleasure working with you. But as I said, you'll see my ugly mug around. I'll still be out trying to help tell the story of the club in this new role as patron.
Can't hold you up any longer. You've got other media commitments. David, thank you very much for joining us. And Chargers are back.
Yeah, Chargers are back. We're back, baby. And roll on 2020. Can't wait for the first game. Go Chargers.